Hello and welcome to Retrotainment Recast, the show that was brought to you every 2 weeks by ourselves here. Unfortunately, I lost the last round to Carl. Look at that smiley grin on your head. So I gave the two boys the chance for the movie Predator. If you've been following the previous two episodes, you know how it works. We recast with modern actors to pick 7 characters, recast them with modern actors, and I'll pick which one I think is best. So we'll go 1 versus 1. Carl will go first, being the reigning champ. I don't like saying that either.
2-0.
We'll go from there. So lads, you have your picks there.
Yeah,
if you send them into the group chat, just so if there is a draw, I can verify it.
3, 2, 1.
Yep, sent in there and
Lovely.
phone down so that I don't know what Carl said.
Same ditto, phone is down.
Yep.
Right, so we'll get her going.
Before we kick into that, just thanks everyone for voting on the Instagram there as well. The polls were quite close as well for the last for Hook. Pretty much the same. Everyone
Robert Downey Jr. won.
Robert Downey Jr. did win, but other than that, it was pretty much the same. But yeah, no, it was keep voting on the Instagram at Carl Sherlock 91, and we'll be putting it up in the next couple of days as well for this one.
We're good to go, Ted.
Good to go, yeah. Tell us who we're going with first.
Good to go, Carl.
Oh yes.
Right, I went over the rules in the dressing room. Want a nice clean fight? Let's get it on. Right, so first character we're going to go with Blaine.
Blaine. I was hoping this one would be first. Who's kicking it off?
You're the reigning champ. You have the choice. Do you want to go first or second?
Go on, I'll get it out of the way. This one was my one that was really left field. You know, we've done this is the third one of these now, and I always have one that's really left field, and Blaine was my one that was left field. I just think it would be absolutely brilliant in this role for Katie Sackoff.
Who?
Katie Sackoff. Or you might know her from The Mandalorian. She was the leader of the Mandalorian. That when she came in, she's absolutely kick-ass. Battlestar Galactica as well. She's a great actress, but she's really, really good at action, and she has the build. She'd be able to, carry the big minigun around with her. She would definitely be able to do this role well, and she kind of has that rough and tough kind of thing that she'd be able to do, the chewing tobacco and all that type of thing. And I was watching the movie there earlier on today, and I could picture her doing everything that Jesse Ventura did.
She kind of looks like Megan Rapinoe, didn't she? I'm just looking up
slightly. She does. She kind of does. Yeah, but she's, she has this build. She has that build for it. I know it's left field. It's a big man's group, but I don't think
we did state at the start it doesn't have to. Yeah. We did say it doesn't have to be the same sex, same gender, same race.
True. I just think if this movie was being made in 2021, it wouldn't be a full team of. It wouldn't be a full team of men. It just wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
So this is where I came off left field. I was trying to think which character would it suit best to have a female role, and I went with Blaine.
Fair enough. And Ted?
It's interesting that Carl went with a female for Blaine as well, because at one point I was thinking a female for Blaine.
Oh, really?
And it was also someone from The Mandalorian. And then I realized this woman is not allowed to be cast and things like that. She's a baddie now. It would have been Gino Carano.
Yeah, I could see that more. I could see that more than that.
I was nearly going to go with her, but then I was like, she is in the bad books of everyone at the moment. So it's like she probably wouldn't be cast, as good as she is as an actress. Like, unfortunately, her personal life and opinions have kind of.
She was badass in The Mandalorian when she was in it as well.
She's great in Deadpool as well.
She's in Deadpool. Yeah,
she's great in both of them. It's just her personal life has kind of put her on the blacklist of Hollywood at the moment. So unfortunately, I was like, no, I won't go for her.
Which is fair.
I was thinking She was the only person I was thinking of putting in as a female from the group, the main group. And because I ruled her out, I then went, will I go with a different female? And I said, based on some of the jokes that are said by Hawkins in this, I was like, do those jokes then work if there's a female in the group? Because they're kind of like, a woman, this, that, and the other. I was like, would that be accepted in there? I was like,
because you could just imagine the looks that he would get then. It would be a nice little bit of a comedy. Like, what are you saying?
Yeah, it could. But then I just thought to myself, I was like, I don't know. Like, I think it kind of works where it's, lads, because that's kind of the mentality they gave. And I know that's because in the 80s, that's the way it was being portrayed. So I decided if I wasn't going to go with Gina Carano, I was just going to stick with all lads in the group. Mine is also a little bit left field because it's someone that's a little bit smaller than Jesse Ventura was. Jesse Ventura was a big old boy. I had two people. So I had Christian Bale at one point, and I said, I don't want to go with Christian Bale here. And I went with GSP because there's very little actual lines for this character.
He only has time to bleed.
Yeah, he's only got a couple of lines, and I don't got time to bleed. And GSP, old UFC fighter, who's moved into the acting roles.
Big guy.
I think he can get away with, there's only a couple of lines that he needs to say, and the rest of it is basically just looking muscly and walking around like a big hard man. I was like, GSP can do that, I think.
The only argument I have against GSP, and this is my rebuttal, is these are all Americans. He has too much of a French Canadian accent, and he's tried to throw that off, but he can't.
Yeah, that's why I was like, it has to. If I was going to go with somebody, it's somebody with the least amount of lines. So I was like, maybe he can get away with it there. But yeah, I do understand that, like, the accent will possibly.
The accent. These are all Americans. They're bad to the bone Americans, and that's why I was saying that's GSP did cross my mind at one stage.
Yeah,
but that's the reason why he didn't get in as any of the roles, because. You can't get rid of that French American accent.
See, this why I was like, it's the only role I can put him in, because you need that limited. So like Christian Bale probably would have worked better in terms of the accent, but I think in terms of like the character
too
portrayal,
big of a name for that character.
yeah, but also the character portrayal, I think GSP would do a good character portrayal of it without like accent notwithstanding, sort of thing.
I'll give you mine. So I have two lists set for sort of three characters, depending on who I picked. So for Blaine, I had Tom Hardy on one list.
Yeah,
big guy.
He's a big guy. Yeah,
could kind of do it. He gets thing, and then I had Batista on the other one.
They're big names.
Yeah,
that's the reason I went through this trying not to get the biggest names.
Jesse Ventura was a big name at the time when this came out.
Not in acting.
Not in acting.
No, not in acting, but he was still a big name.
Yeah, but he's not in acting. Not in Hollywood. He wasn't. He was a big name in professional wrestling.
But
so.
you come off a name that you have. You know what I mean? Like The Rock came off his name in wrestling and went to do Mummy 2.
Be cool.
Yeah, but he was in a small roles. He was in a small role.
This is a small role as well, but it's a featured role.
Like Batista's a big actor already, you know.
Well, you know what I mean. I just went with that.
I will say that I was thinking John Cena for that role for a little while.
Same.
Yeah. I had to think about it as well.
Yeah, I had to think about it, but I said I haven't seen the main stuff I've seen John Cena in is
comedy.
More comedy roles,
and I haven't got to see Suicide Squad yet. So I was like, I don't know what he's going to be like as the the bad, like not a bad guy, but just a big jarhead, which I'm sure he can do because sure he was a professional wrestler. But
he was in.
He did do Marine as well.
He did do in the Marine.
I also I do have other wrestlers in here, and I was like, I don't want to go overly wrestling heavy here, so
fair enough.
I'll stick away from it.
I am going to give it to GSP. I just can't picture that role as a woman. Unfortunately, that's nothing against her as an actress. I just can't see it being Canadian or whatnot. But like you see GSP carrying the big gun, and the skinhead with the little V haircut that he used to have.
Yeah,
I could see it. And
that's fair. As I said, that was my left field.
It's a left field one. Yeah,
he does the thing with the razor at the start as well, than he shaving it. Oh no, that was Mac actually.
That's Mac.
Yeah.
See, I was the same. I was going if if it wasn't for the fact that Gina Carano has become a baddie in real life, I actually would have gone Gino Carano.
I almost went with Sasha Banks just
Too
to keep
small.
the wrestling thing, but then I was like, she's too small.
She's got like muscle on her, but her body frame is quite small. Like
literally the moment I said Katie Sackoff, a better person came into my mind, also female, and it's your one from Game of Thrones.
Lena Headey.
No, she was also in Star Wars. She was Captain Phasma.
Emilia Clarke.
No, she's the big blonde one.
Brianna Tart.
Yeah. Her.
I don't know her actual name. Yeah,
I can't think of her name. Yeah. That at the moment I said Katie Sackoff out loud here, her name came into my head. Oh no.
she might have switched it a little bit.
Yeah.
Damn
it.
Yeah, no. Unfortunately, we're going GSP.
1-0 up, Carl. You're on the rocks, mate. You're on
I'm on the ropes.
Right. We are gonna go with Hawkins next.
Hawkins, okay.
It was actually played by Shane Black, who directed the movie, which is a big one.
True.
This one's a little out of left field here from me as well. So I base this mainly on the fact that although Hawkins is, a tough guy, he's the kind of comedian of it. He's always trying to tell jokes to Billy. He's like, hey, Billy, when did you hear this one? So I was like, I want to go someone who's kind of a bit of a comedy actor. And at first I was thinking, Ryan Reynolds has that kind of comedic thing. But I said to myself, Ryan Reynolds is too big an actor for that role. Now I have gone with someone who's quite big, but isn't quite big in the movie, like the film industry. He's more TV. Andy Sandberg. His frame isn't big enough really, but I think the comedic chops and, imagining him giving those lines. Now, here's the joke, and Brooklyn Nine-Nine, that he can be like the...
Hawkins isn't exactly a big guy anyway.
Exactly. Yeah, well, that's the thing. He's not huge, but he is bigger than Andy Sandberg, I would say. But Andy Sandberg can buff up. I was thinking Jonah Hill as well, but then I was like, I don't like muscly Jonah Hill, so I'm not putting him in.
He's not Jonah Hill anymore.
Yeah, I want fat Jonah Hill back.
My choice for this one is simply because he could do the role and he'd do the role quite convincingly, but he always seems to be in these films one way or another, and he is comedic, and we know he can do action. It's Jai Courtney. He's a big name, but he's not big enough to be not this character. Like he could play as a secondary character in a movie like this, no problem whatsoever. And his ego wouldn't be stroked whatsoever.
Haven't looked at him when he was in the Suicide Squad as well.
Yeah,
exactly.
He has an air. Do you know when he has the mustache? He kind of looks like thing from Superbad. Seth Rogen's character in Superbad.
Yeah, he does a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, true.
I like that pick. Now, I must say. For mine, I had Ryan Reynolds as one.
Yeah, I thought he was too big an actor. So I went from him.
I went with Miles Teller though.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like Miles Teller.
Yeah. That's who I went with in the end. But I will say I'm gonna give it to Jai Courtney.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
I can't see Andy Sandberg doing it. No, I haven't watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine, so I don't know what he's like in the
he's still very comedic in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Like he can do the action scenes and stuff in it, but a lot of it is comedy based. I was looking at Kevin Hart at one point, but I just, again, too big a name, I felt.
Too small though.
I don't know. Not for this role.
No,
this role is
he's built now as well. Like he has
Kevin Hart is jacked,
I know that, but he's tiny.
Yeah, but I still think that could kind of work in this role, the kind of comedy role. You could have him be a bit smaller.
He's the first to go as well, so I mean...
Yeah, so I was kind of thinking him, but then I was like, he's maybe too big a name, and I just liked Andy Sandberg. I was like, oh yeah, he's like the funny Brooklyn Nine-Nine cop kind of bit in there. I was like, yeah, I think he could do it, but
that's why I went with Jai Courtney, mainly because he was the first to go, and like, he's a big name. You wouldn't expect one of the big names to go, and Jai Courtney usually does that shit.
Yeah, true. No,
he usually he is usually the first big name to go in one of these movies.
He's quite happy to be the first one out.
Exactly, yeah.
Hey, I'm out. I get paid and I'm out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're 1-1.
1-1.
Oh, right, boys. We're going for a big one here. We're going with Mac.
Mac. Okay. I went with Terry Crews. He has the muscle. He has we know he can do a bit of seriousness because we've seen it in the likes of Expendables.
Are you mixing Mac up with Dylan?
Nope.
Because
Nope.
Mac's not overly huge in this.
He's big enough. I know he's not.
I think he looks small because he's beside Arnie. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
Sort of
But I mean, he can wear his jacket or whatever it is. You know.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure you weren't mixing them up.
Plus, he's also the guy that picks up the big ass minigun and starts spraying it everywhere. You know.
Literally everywhere.
Yes, exactly. And I can 100% because I've seen it. I've seen Terry Crews do that in Expendables.
Yeah.
You know, so that's the type of character, you know, the way not silly Terry Crews, but his
serious Terry
Crews.
Yeah.
Serious action Terry Crews, big ass motherfucker who will kill everybody.
He is a big man, isn't
he?
Exactly. So I mean, he's intimidating, and you can see him literally running towards the predator by himself. You know, thinking that he can take him on.
I got these cheeseburgers, man.
Got these cheeseburgers, man. Got these fries that'll cross your eyes. See, I was similar to Greg in that when I was thinking Terry Crews, I was looking at Dylan for him. I didn't pick Terry. Slight spoiler: I didn't pick Terry Crews for Dylan, but that's the role I was looking at.
I have him written down for Dylan as well, but it was like I think Mac
I had that for quite a few before. I've like a different list before that isn't the one I sent you, where it's like about 100 names written for everyone, and a lot of them are like this person is written for like 4 different things, and then I just crossed them out for different ones. I went with Michael B. Jordan for this. I think it was because he's a slightly smaller build, but he's still a big guy. We know he can play kind of the badass because that's what he did in Black Panther. In Black Panther, he's a pretty big badass in Black Panther. And he like muscle wise, he does have that look to him. So that's kind of what I was looking at there. Is like he's a little bit smaller than the rest of the guys in terms of girth, but still jacked.
My only argument on Michael B. Jordan is Mac is arguably the 4th name, the 4th biggest, or the 4th star, and Michael B. Jordan's too big of a name for that.
Possibly,
I don't think he would take a role, that there's 3 just the way he is at the moment. I don't think he would take a role that there's 3 bigger stars than him.
Possibly,
for him to be billed 4th.
Possibly, but then my argument to that is the new Space Jam.
Yeah, well, that's a cameo. That's different.
I know.
That's a cameo. Cameo's different.
I haven't seen it yet.
He still took it.
To be honest with you, I think any actor in the planet would, if they were remaking Predator, know.
Well, they're not remaking it. It's being made for the first time ever.
Recasting it.
Well, it's being made for the first time ever. It's just being made now.
Yeah, with the story that was there, it was you knew it was nearly going to be a hit.
Yeah, true.
So I had Michael B. Jordan on one of the lists.
Bodes well for me.
And I had Idris
Unless you have Terry Crews on the
Idris
Elba's my backup.
Yeah.
He was my backup. But we used him before, and I was like, maybe I don't want to use Idris Elba for everything.
But Idris Elba
Corey
is
Hawkins
everything.
was my backup.
Yeah.
That's a decent pick now. I am going to give it to Ted here. I think Terry Crews is a bit too big to be Mac, especially because, like, obviously in the scene where you see Schwarzenegger and Carl Weathers doing the Dylan, and you son of a bitch, and they clap hands, and you see the size of their arms. I think having Terry Crews standing there in the corner, fucking 7 foot tall. And like Michael B. Jordan was a good shout with, like, he is stocky, he's big as well. And you could nearly see him picking up that minigun and spraying the place down.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I was looking at it. It's like, I don't want someone too large, but I do agree with Carl that, like, there is the potential argument of maybe he's too big an actor now.
Yeah.
But I think I'd think that if you
Yeah.
saw this script, you'd be like, that sounds like it's going to be a hit. I'm all in for that.
Now, the only thing I can think of is, could you see Michael B. Jordan shaving his head with the razor, the knife?
I mean, they don't have to look exactly the same.
And then breaking the
Mm,
razor on his face.
yeah, he has a quite close cropped haircut as well, though.
No, I'm not talking about the haircut. I'm just saying, could you actually see him going?
Yeah, I could see him doing it. Yeah.
Well, then again, if you're casting a part, you're gonna do what you're gonna do.
Yeah, I could see him doing it. Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna give it to Michael B. Jordan.
Okay, 2-1. Carl's back on the ropes.
Ooh, right.
Sorry, I'm just taking down the list of the winners here. Right, so we're gonna go with Anna, who is the only female in the movie.
Yeah.
Now, nods his head over there. Was very happy about this one.
Well, you'll have to go second. It's me on the first
Yes.
one here, unfortunately.
So you stay stumped down there, boy.
So I had a few people for this. I'm just going to give my two that were
Same.
backups first before I give my main one. So at one, I thought Tessa Thompson, who was Valkyrie from Thor.
Yeah.
She's a good actress. I think she'd fit the role well. My main reason for not picking her is she's a little bit older than this role needs her to be.
True.
So I was like, because it's meant to be kind of a young girl, and Tessa Thompson is a little bit old. Like she's, I think,
mid-20s, early 30s is what you'd expect a role to be.
Yeah, and I think she's mid-30s. So I was like, maybe she's a little bit old now. Obviously, Hollywood makeup, you can make her look.
True.
You could probably make her look 15 if they wanted to, you know. So
let's be fair, lads. We watched. I don't know whether you watched it. I watched Kill the Irishman. And Al Pacino looks about 40 in it.
Yeah, exactly. So they can do all of this, but that was kind of my reasoning for ruling her out. If I had nobody else, then I would have gone with her.
Yeah.
Zendaya is one as well. Obviously, Spider-Man. Carl brought her up in the previous episode. I think she'd do very well in that role.
I didn't write her down, but she was a choice. She was a choice for myself. Yeah.
Yeah. But who I ended up going with, and I don't know if you've watched it, Carl, but it's somebody from Fear Street. So it's the main lead actress in Fear Street. Kiana Mediri, I think is how her name is pronounced.
In the first one.
Well, you've only watched the first one, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, the first one then.
Is it the same? Is it the same cast in the three of them?
Yes and no. She appears across all three. She's the main actress.
All right. Yeah, okay.
So she's who I went with. I haven't seen her in anything else, but in Fear Street, she's kind of the scared girl who's running away from something hunting her, which obviously that's what this film is all about. But also she's got kind of that badass streak where she wants to fight as well, which works again into the character of Anna. So I thought, I said, that's probably who I'll go with here. I did flip-flop between the three of them, but that's who I ended up settling on there.
Right. I'm going to preface mine by saying I think we can agree the most pivotal scene in the film for Anna is when she's running away. Hawkins catches her. Predator catches Hawkins. Blood splatter goes across her face. You see her eyes. She's that's her pivotal scene.
Yeah.
For that reason, because I can see her eyes. Now, granted, in the movie that I'm taking her from, she's a bit it's animated kind of across her eyes, or her eyes are bigger. But in real life, she does have eyes, kind of like that.
I hope
Rosa Salazar from Akita Battle Angel.
I have to look up who that is.
Yeah, Rosa Salazar. She's young enough. She fits the role. She can play, because not only in this film is Anna a bit of a badass, but she's also the damsel in distress.
Yeah,
she's trying to escape, and so she can play this meek character that you can also kind of try and defend herself to get to run. If you've seen Akita Battle Angel, that's what she does, kind of thing. She's is perfect for the role, and she has these big eyes and very expressive face. So when you see the blood splatter across her face, you're going to see the shock and fear that's in her eyes.
I'm gonna tell you,
it focuses on her eyes.
Oh, she was in Maze Runner as well, wasn't she?
She has been.
I don't know.
She was in Maze Runner as well. Yeah.
I
Just
haven't
for
seen-
just for that one scene alone, to see the shock and the fear and her full big eyes, how scared she is when the predator attacks. That scene will steal the movie.
Right.
I can see it, yeah.
I can now that I'm looking up a picture of her here. I was like, when you said the name, I was like, I haven't a clue who that is.
Yeah.
having a Scooby Doo.
That's gonna happen for someone of my think.
Yeah. So I'll give you my pick before I give you the winner. So I went with Izia Gonzalez, who was Salma Hayek's character in the TV version of From Dusk Till Dawn.
Didn't watch it.
Oh, well, that ends that.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either. I don't think
well.
I've seen her in anything.
Well,
I've just looked it up. I seen her in Bloodshot.
yeah, she was in that too with Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was terrible.
It was pretty poor, yeah. But
Yeah, she was good. I liked her in From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah.
And she has that kind of Latina Hispanic look.
yeah, she'd have been a good choice as well, I think, yeah.
I will give it to you, Carl, just from looking at the picture here.
Yeah.
As I said, I hadn't a clue who she was. But just looking up the IMDb, I've seen her in Maze Runner, and she's in Board Box as well.
She is, yes.
Yeah.
If you do get a chance, check out Akira Battle Angel.
I think I've seen Battle Angel.
It didn't do great in the box office. I don't know why, but it's a fairly good watch.
I think I have seen it actually. I was just looking at it there. I'm fairly certain I've seen it.
I have not.
Yeah. It's good fun. It's a good fun.
Okay, we're back to 2-2.
2-2.
Right, boys. We've got the three biggest characters in the movie now.
Yes.
Right. Now what I will do is I'm gonna go with Dylan here,
Okay.
played by Apollo Creed himself. Carl Weathers.
Because of that reason, I almost went with Michael B. Jordan for this role. Because it would have been just, he's playing his son.
He's playing Creed, yeah.
He's playing Creed. I almost went with that. But that wasn't my first choice, and I wouldn't go with it now because he's at Mac as well.
Yeah.
Probably not a good idea.
Exactly, yeah. My choice is Winston Duke. Or M'Baku from Black Panther.
Yeah.
The Duke.
He's
The
a big
kick-ass
boy.
Duke.
He is a big old boy, yeah.
He's a big boy. You can see him do the big thing. He's a good actor as well. Not only can he play the action. If you've watched Us, you can see that he can actually act as well.
I did see you in Us as well, yeah.
Yeah. So he can be a serious actor too. So not only does he have the action capabilities, he also has acting capabilities, which Carl Weathers brought to the role.
Yeah.
He was very good in Spencer Confidential with Mark Wahlberg.
Was he? I didn't see that.
It was all right.
Don't think
And
I've
I'm
seen
surprised.
that, but, yeah.
Craig, did you say you didn't see Us?
Yeah.
For a
Yeah.
horror guy, I'm very shocked.
Yeah, he doesn't like the director.
Not a great fan of Jordan
right.
Peele.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Now Ted has swayed me. I put it on the list to watch.
Yeah, I think it's quite good. It's not
I love it.
outstanding or anything like that, but it is good for what it is. Yeah.
I watched Get Out and I thought it was Get Out. Is it Get Out? Yeah.
Get Out.
I watched
Get
that
Out
and
is
that was
another
like
one, yeah.
2 hours of absolute dribble.
It's better than Get Out.
Okay, well, it can't be hard. Wrong Turn 22 is better than Get Out.
I think your bias against Jordan Peele is swaying
No,
your actual.
I will say I'm looking very forward to Candyman when it comes out. I know he's not directing it, but he's a big part in it.
Yeah, Nia DaCosta's directing that. That's going to be good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that now. It's one of my favorite franchises.
True.
So.
Right, so Dylan. Right, so as I said at one point, I had Terry Crews as a backup here.
Yeah.
I had Mark Wahlberg as a backup here, but I didn't like him for that role. He is a big guy, but I was like, I don't really buy him in that role. So I went with a big actor for this, Batista. The man's got the muscle size. He's definitely got the acting chops. I I don't know. Do I really need to say a whole lot more on Dave Batista? We've all seen him. We all know who he is. I think he fits that role quite well.
I like that. I must say now, I do like that. But what I should have done was, instead of that, that all depend on who plays Dutch, really.
Yes,
to
it
show
does.
to show the muscle in it. Surely for that scene alone.
That's an iconic scene. The two hands clapping together with the big two muscly men. Yeah.
Right. So I have 3 on this list. Surely, because as it says, I had cast one person, I've done a list with them, and I have a tour just in case it came up somewhere else. Right? So I had Michael B. Jordan as Dylan, right?
Yeah.
Obviously can't use that now.
Yeah.
Right? Which is fine. I had Terry Crews.
Yeah.
I
think we can all understand why Terry Crews would be there. You got the muscle mass.
He's a big guy, and I had Batista in it as well.
Yeah.
And that was
I know where that's going.
It was me surely going, who can act but is.
But you didn't think of Winston Duke, did you? He has those acting capabilities as well.
Yeah, go watch Spencer Confidential and come back to me.
Not every role is going to be a knockout in the park.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
Batista was in The Man with the Golden Arms or Golden Fists. He doesn't act well in that.
He was also in that one where he was in West Ham Stadium with the bomb. That was like a bad version of Sudden Death.
Yeah, so I mean, Batista has some stinkers in him too.
Every actor has stinkers in it.
Yeah, it is fair. Everyone has a few stinkers in them. Yeah.
No, like I should have went and picked Dutch before I picked Dylan, so we could work that way.
But we always cast a big one last.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's a film about big beefy men, and there's a couple of big beefy men in Hollywood now, so you're kind of like, oh, I could cast him here, but then if I do that and then we go to the next character, someone will be like, oh, that's who I had there. Like that's the kind of problem with a film like this, that they could all kind of interchange to a lot of each other's roles.
Yeah. I'm just having another quick look. Yeah, I'm going to say I'm going to have to give it to Batista. Surely because I had him on my list. And like, as I said, I have 2 lists. I have 2 mains cast, so I went 1 and 1, so the 2 big ones kind of match up.
Yeah.
And then obviously I've lost Michael B. Jordan, so
yeah,
that was kind of thing. Like I'll explain when I mention who I picked for Dutch, why I picked MBJ.
Yeah, I nearly had John Cena in this role as well.
Oh really?
Yeah,
lost.
I nearly said, would John Cena fit that role, because similar big guy, but again, I haven't seen him in enough stuff to know, does he have the chops to take on such a big role.
Yeah, and is he able to play the heel as well? I know he done it with 20 years ago when he was the doctor of thugonomics, but
yeah, I would say
play a bad guy.
I would say he can play a bad guy. Like he's a good actor.
He did in Bumblebee.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, he did. True. Yeah, I think he can, but I was just like, it's the second biggest role in the film. Well, I suppose technically it's the third biggest role, because the biggest role is the Predator, but nobody is actually the Predator. So, it's the second biggest role in the film. So it's kind of like, would you give that to John Cena just yet? I was like, 5-10 years from now, yeah, you probably will. But for the moment, I was like, it has to be Batista.
If you went with Cena, you'd have lost.
Yeah, I was like, I think it has to be Batista here, because like he's just the bigger actor at the moment.
Yeah, he's a good actor too. He's transitioned better than The Rock did.
Oh yeah.
Quicker. I don't know, better, but quicker. Yes.
Oh no,
that's what I mean. Like he adapted. His game quicker.
If I was going to see, are we talking Cena or Batista here?
Batista.
If I was going to see a serious film, it'd be a Batista film all day long. Action film, I'd go for The Rock.
Yeah.
But if I was going to see a serious film, I'd go and watch a Batista film over a Rock film.
Yeah. Right. Who do we have next? Only 2 characters left.
It has to be Billy.
It is going to be Billy.
Okay. So Billy is the silent character. Very, very few words here.
Billy is a machine.
He does start off, or he starts off very silent. He does speak a bit more towards the end.
Not much though.
Yeah, like he's
Once he starts laughing, he does start to speak
yeah,
more.
like, but that's the whole thing. He's a very serious like thing. Keeps telling him jokes, and he just doesn't laugh at them.
Yeah,
and then it's like once
that laugh happens, he speaks
and
actually
then,
quite a lot during it. I think he probably has more speaking lines than Blaine and Hawkins, and anyway, probably Anna as well.
His next bit is probably just him saying I'm afraid, and they're like, you're not afraid of any man, and he's like, it ain't no man.
Yeah.
That's his infamous line.
Yeah, there isn't really a whole lot much more to what he says. And so I based that a lot on that character. So I'll give my backups here. So Pedro Pascal was one, which I looked at, and then I was like, he's kind of a bit more serious than this. Well, not serious, but like not the big action movie sort of guy. So I went against him. Keanu Reeves was someone I looked at because I was thinking John Wick, he's quite silent and deadly in John Wick. I was like, he can do that role. But I kind of thought, even in John Wick, he's not a big guy.
He's not a big guy notoriously anyway.
Yeah, but I mean, like, John Wick is the one where he's, the kick-ass killer, but he's still not that big guy in that,
Yeah.
Which I suppose doesn't really matter if you're using a load of guns, but...
also true.
I did go with someone, and it kind of goes a little bit against the fact of being the silent big killer type if you think about him in a certain role. So I based it off his Game of Thrones role, which might not work for me here.
No.
Jason Momoa. He's very silent in Game of Thrones as
Khal Drogo.
He's a big old guy, very serious. He has that look of, this guy would fuck you up and isn't afraid of anybody. So that's who I went with in the end. Obviously, if you're thinking of him as Aquaman or his antics outside of
throwing axes and stuff,
outside of when he's acting, he's quite a light-hearted sort of guy, so maybe it doesn't work there. But I mean, he's shown that he can do the quiet, silent killer type in Game of Thrones, whether people like that or not.
You didn't watch Game of Thrones, Carl, did you?
No, but I know I've seen clips.
Everyone knows Khal Drogo in it, So that's who I went with there. I was thinking the Mountain, but I was like, the Mountain is too big.
Far too big.
I was like, that guy is insane. I was like, that guy can't be picked.
Cast Eddie Hall, he'd be grand.
What I did for this one was I actually did some research, and I wanted to try and find someone that had a little bit of Native American in him, because that's kind of what the character is. And I also went with Jason Momoa.
So we have a draw.
We have a draw.
I have him as well.
Jason Momoa as well. Yeah.
Only name on the list.
Yeah.
I could just picture him at the end, with a blade.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. God. Okay. I think that's pretty easy then, isn't it? It's clearly a Jason Momoa.
Right. I'm just going to check this for you, folks, just to make sure here.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Recast. Yeah. I've got 1. And then I've got Ted's 5-0 win. And I've got 2.
Yeah.
We are good to go. So it is.
That's the finals.
What was that? 4-3?
3-2.
Or 3-2.
3-2 with 1 draw.
Yeah. So yeah.
No, it's 4-3.
Yeah, it's 4-3.
4-3 if you count the.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
Down to the main man.
Well then, we can't count. Oh no, sure, it'd be champion's advantage is what we said, wasn't it?
Yeah, we did
And
agree that if it ends as a draw, it's champion's advantage and keeps going.
So it's 4-3, Carl. You need this one, pal.
I do, and we were talking about it in the group text there during the week, and like it's very difficult to not choose The Rock in this role. That's he is the next generation Arnie.
Yeah,
it's been passed down to him in films. Was Walking Tall, was it? That was the torch was passed over. Welcome to the Jungle.
Welcome to the Jungle.
Welcome to the Jungle. It was passed down to him there. I almost cast Jason Momoa in this role just because I didn't want to cast The Rock in this because
I tried to avoid it for a long time.
Yeah, but there was no way not to do it. I had to choose The Rock just because he is the action star of this generation.
Yeah,
and this is the role for the action star of this generation.
The thing is that if you were being honest with yourself and this film was being made for the first time ever today, and they're like, we need the biggest action guy in the world right now to be Dylan. He has to be big.
I'm guessing you have The Rock as well.
He has to be big. He has to be muscly. If you were a director and you didn't go, yeah, we're going to use The Rock.
Or at least consider The Rock. Yeah.
If you said, we're not going to use The Rock for that role, barring The Rock turning us down, then everyone's probably going to go, yeah, you're not the director anymore. I'm sorry. You haven't picked the biggest, muscliest guy as your big, muscly guy as the lead actor. So
and the promo machine that is The Rock.
So yeah, again, same as you. I went The Rock. I tried to avoid him for the longest time.
Yeah, same here. I had Jason Momoa, but I was just like,
I have just verified that both have picked The Rock. Carl, you've lost your title.
The double draw at the end. Screwed you, Carl.
Well, remember I was saying I had two sets of lists cast. So I had The Rock in line with Terry Crews as Dylan. Obviously the size, right? But I tried to go away from The Rock, and I got Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, that's fair.
As Dutch, right? That's where I was going to cast Michael B. Jordan as Dylan. But obviously Batista will now go in. So I think that could still work.
Batista and The Rock.
Yeah.
Well, no, I didn't have a Batista and The Rock. I had Michael B. Jordan and
the three people I had for Dutch on my original list.
I had Winston Duke and The Rock.
The three people I had for my original Dutch list: Batista, The Rock, Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
And I just said to myself, I would be an idiot to not say that The Rock is definitely the one that's getting that job.
You know, that's.
No,
I didn't want to choose The Rock at all.
I wanted to avoid it, and if we'd made the decision, nobody's allowed to pick The Rock.
Then it would have been
Then maybe it would have changed it. But the fact is that when you don't remove him, everyone was going to pick him, sort of thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You got Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's the direct replacement.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Simple as that.
The double draw at the end. Damn it.
Double draw, yeah.
There's no way you could have foreseen that coming. Like I thought I was on to an absolute steal with Jason Momoa.
Same. I was like, Jason Momoa. I was like, this is I was like, I'm definitely winning with Jason Momoa here, and I was like, I'm glad he was kept so long.
As soon as you said Game of Thrones, I was like, oh no.
Yeah, same here. I was like, oh, you're joking me.
I originally thought that Greg had kind of moaned about me saying Game of Thrones because he was like, oh, I don't like Game of Thrones, and I don't like people
love Game of Thrones.
I know, yeah, but I was just like, is Greg someone that just didn't like Game of Thrones and just doesn't want me to pick any actors from it? I was like, oh crap, I could have just screwed myself with this one now.
No, sure, I had Alfie Allen in.
I know, yeah, but I was like, oh crap, have I screwed myself here with like this? I was like, oh.
No, he was always the easy cast for it, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Has the semi kind of Native American, whatever you want to call it, look.
He's the long hair as well, you know, like he's built to be that character, isn't he?
Sure. Did you ever read the reports when they were making Predator? Apparently they had security on the set to protect people from Sonny, who played Billy, because he was just mental.
Really?
Yeah. Like they had security following him around so he didn't kill anybody.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
But yeah, a nice new champion. And
there you go, Ted. There you go.
For 2 weeks.
Yeah, well, for 2 weeks, I'm the champion. We'll see if I can beat Carl's reign of two. I'm already halfway there. Yes.
You're the 1 and 2 and 1.
Yeah, I'm halfway there, lads.
Well, lads, in 2 weeks we'll be back, and you guys will be recasting Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
I knew it. That's what you were going to pick.
You know it was going to be that. It was always going to be that.
Yeah.
But that's a good one to do. It's a good one to do.
Yeah.
I already have one
person done.
We can speak offline who the 7 will be, but it'll be a fun one.
Yeah.
It will. So that's it for this week. Obviously, check out all of our stuff. Sherlock Reel, which went up last Saturday with myself and Greg joining.
Last Friday, wasn't it?
Or
Friday?
Yes,
sorry,
Friday
it
just
was
gone.
Friday night.
Friday
It was
just
Friday
gone.
night that we put it up. Myself, Greg, and Matt from over in England.
UKWA, yes.
UKWA.
And the burning reel, or not the burning truth. The burning truth. And you might be surprised to see Predator in there. It was wrestlers in films. So Jesse Dale, Body Ventura made his way onto this list for us. So if you'd like to see where Predator ended up on the King of the Ring tournament, make sure to tune in on that.
Yeah. And then from ourselves at Retrotainment, we had a show go up on Saturday. We've gone into August, so we're doing action films at the moment.
Yeah, and we put up Green Street
or Green Street Elite, depending on where you're from. Both work. A classic football hooligan film.
Very much so.
The best
pure
one.
action.
Yeah. Pure action. So check all of those out. Our show is over on the Dynamo Podcast Network, where you'll see this Retrotainment recast. Like and subscribe and all that good stuff to ours, and the same over on the Sherlock reel. Like, subscribe to that as well. And we shall see you in 2 weeks. Good luck.
Shalom.